What's up everybody, Krista here and welcome back to another episode of the Burb Files. Episode 13 I think we're up to. So in the last episode we got a few bits painted and primed, just some of the suspension parts. But it's sort of a bit of a hit and miss episode because we're waiting on parts because we're in level 4 lockdown. So managed to get some materials and some parts. We've got some steel plate and paint and whatnot. So going to make a start on the fab work to fix the C-notch, ready for a cert. So these ones aren't actually too bad, they've done a pretty tidy job of cutting it out. So pretty much just going to remove these plates, cut a thicker plate with nice radius ends and holes to key weld. And the same at this end, radius this end around nicely. Probably cut that plate off, reuse that plate because it's still quite a nice shape. And put all double plates underneath here as well. So I'll be doing that on both sides with 12 mil plate. I did notice this sway bar mount here. I don't think it'll affect it too much if it's at 6 mil further out here. So when I do my new plate, I'll continue underneath here as well, just to sort of make sure it spreads the load pretty far either side of the notch. It's not actually going to be it'll be super strong. There's not really, even when you're towing, there's not actually that much weight on them. So it should definitely be sweet. So we're going to make some room now, pull that plate in, then I can use those as a template. So lug that big chunk of plate in here. Man, some people are rough. These bolting kits are rough enough as it is. But they, when they bolted this up, they didn't even grind this little dimple flat underneath. They just set it over the top. And then because it was sitting out at this angle, sort of looked ugly. I was like, what's going on there? Yeah, it's pretty rugged. Okay guys, so just got that cut off of there so I can use this as a template because I know that sits pretty nice with how they've cut it. I just want to make these ends nicely radiused. Straight edges are more likely to crack across the chassis with like vibration and twisting and stuff. You pretty much never really want a straight weld across the chassis like that. So because I'm welding them on, I don't know whether to do maybe like triangulated like that or just do a radius. I'm not sure. I might do them triangulated just so, I don't know, I think it'll look prettier. So I'm just going to put that template down onto there and then figure out what I think looks prettier. Man, I need to invest in plasma cutter because man, cutting this 12 mil plate with the grinder is taking way longer than I want it to. So this is pretty much the shape it'll be. I'll have some holes in here to key weld too. This end as well. Just be tucked in nicely, and then the plate going out from under here. Underneath that, pretty much be sandwiched by that plate. Welded on as well. And then this one here will carry on back a bit as well. And then I just need to shape that. I left the top straight. I need to follow the radius of the chassis. So I'll mark that now so I can get it looking pretty. It's definitely not too bad, but man, it's painful. I used to I've been through like 4 cut-off discs. I was trying to be careful with it too. So bit of a pain, but gotta do what you gotta do. Alrighty guys, so last night I got the 2 plates cut out for the outsides of the web. I'm going to have these holes here just for key welding to the chassis. But because I want to drill them quite big, like 21, 25 mil, something like that, just going to take them over to the old boy's place, chuck them in the mill drill, drill it through. Just save burning out the old battery drill. It's a bit hard on it when you start drilling big holes like that, because it's 12 mil thick. So just going to check everything in the car and head over those ways, get them drilled out, and might even be able to get them tacked on maybe later on tonight or tomorrow. Alrighty guys, so we're a couple of days now after we've drilled the plates. I just separated them because I had them welded together. Give them a quick grind up. But now I'm just going to suss out tacking them on. But because the chassis's got a bit of a curve in it, there where it goes skinnier, just going to put a bit of a bend in these plates, get them to match up nicely, instead of just clamping them and then having their chassis under tension while it's welded. I know like welding it up will release some of the tension because you get hot and then relax and stuff, but I'd rather just have it all the right shape to start with. So just going to give them a bit of a beat. I'll see if I can do it with my press, but I don't think I'll be able to get the width for it's only like a slight radius, so might just chuck a couple of blocks of wood on the ground and smack it with a hammer. I should be able to get just a nice little curve in it. So we'll get amongst that and get them tacked on. Okay, so got these double plates tacked up. Ended up sitting sweet. So just going to clean up my plates I've got for in the notch here and get those cleaned up, tacked in, and then I'll start making my plan for what I want to do on the top here.
Approximately 10 hours later.
So got the first side all tacked up and finished. I'll just show you sort of roughly what I'm thinking. So I've got 12 mil on the side, on the outside here, and then 6 mil top and bottom. Just see, and up, around. So I actually need a little bit of flat bar for the other side, but I was going to maybe start trying to weld some stuff off today, but I just want to check a few things with the certifier, just so I'm not double working things and whatnot. Okay, so after a few yarns with a few people, I've decided that this will be sweet, but I'm also going to box this in with some 3 mil, just with a couple of dimple dies. I'll definitely need a dimple die on this side because there's a cable that comes through, and also the fuel lines come through and onto the fuel tank. I think there's a wire through there, and the fuel lines actually come through here, so they should be sweet, but I'll double check my photos. So what I'm going to do now is just pluck this back out, weld in behind there, because I can't get in. I want to get weld in underneath this plate because of that radius. So I'll pull that off, just stitch weld those bits, stitch weld this on, stitch weld where I can on that one. Not going to do all the welding because I don't want it to bend too much. So I'll weld everywhere I can, so all in the top there. I'll do some stitches in there, underneath, and then I can put all the plates back on and weld them off. But I've only got a little bit of time up my sleeve this evening, so get stuck in, get a bit of this welding done, and try and chip away over the next few nights of this week. Maybe try and get that all welded off. Alright guys, so managed to get the welds I wanted done in time. So just stitched along the top here and along the bottom around there on both sides. So it's ready for these plates to go on now. See, because with those plates on there, go like that, you can't get into behind to weld it to the actual chassis. So now it's ready for these plates to go on, and also where to put them. Here. And the likes of these. So these can go on now. Except this one still needs a hole drilled in it where the sway bar mount goes through. But I'll drill that probably maybe tomorrow afternoon. Super stoked with the progress on it though. So I'm going to call it for this episode, and we'll get back to more fab work in the next episode. So cheers for checking it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Sweet!